then there will be a uprising within the Democratic Party. But I think we should give them a chance to let's see what their plan and their strategy is.
Democrats turning on other Democrats? I don't think anyone saw this coming. Now, despite my sarcastic intro, what's not sarcasm is how bad the approval rating is for Democrats right now. So in this video, we will go over the most recent CNN meltdown, trying to figure out who could even be the next Democrat leader and actually move the Democrats in a right direction. I think you're really going to enjoy this video because it's actually quite hilarious. Now, before we start the video, please like the video. It's the #1 way you can help this channel, and it helps others see the videos as well. Let us begin.
Because we need to hear new, fresh, bold voices. That's what the American people want. And if the party doesn't do that, the party is about to be finished.
I hope that AOC, Pramila Jayapal, Greg Cesar, I hope they're the new face of the Democratic Party because Republicans will be winning elections all over the country if that is the face of the Democratic Party.
Now, I can hear you guys laughing already. How is it possible that AOC could potentially be any sort of leadership within the Democrat Party? Now, there is a lot of hype behind her right now, considering Bernie Sanders and AOC. They are currently on a town hall tour. They are selling out all of their events. But here is a very funny response.
Are you?
I mean, y'all
listen, a district like mine that Joe Biden won by 10 points, okay, 10 points. Kamala Harris won by half a point. Okay, I won by 6.5 points, 24,000 votes in a district that has 85,000 more Democrats than Republicans. Why?
You're right.
Because the
Democrats. But you ran against a cornball candidate. You had
he was your friend. If AOC is the face of the Democratic Party in swing districts all across this country, she will mobilize voters way more than Nancy Pelosi ever did.
Let me just
add
the.
Now, I did some research for you guys, like I always do, and you're going to find this hilarious. How many people actually want AOC to be the next leader of the Democrat Party, or find her qualities to be of leadership within the Democrat Party? Only 10% throughout all of the Democrats. Yes, she has the majority, but only 10%. So despite all of this hype, despite Bernie Sanders and her selling out stadiums and events, and again, this poll is all about thinking about Democrat leaders today, which one person best reflects the core values of the Democrat Party. She's at 10%. So I just wanted to point out, you even have Gavin Newsom down here with 2%, Barack Obama with 4%, Hakeem Jeffries with 6%. Again, you guys let me know how you feel about this, but the numbers speak for themselves. Democrats right now are in a toss-up to try and replace leadership or find somebody to actually run the Democrat Party and push them in the right direction. When you look at these stats, even though AOC has the majority, it might not be the best option for Democrats. Unless you're a Republican, then you would definitely love this.
So you got a whole lot of good people. Alexandria is extraordinary. I am so impressed by her work in Congress and she inspires young people all over the country.
Would you like to see her join in the Senate?
Right now, we have, as I said, just a whole lot of people in the Congress. Okay, Jonathan, thanks.
Wait, I got one more. This is important.
No, I asked you.
Okay.
You want to do nonsense, do nonsense.
No.
I don't want to talk about inside the Beltway stuff. I got 32,000 people.
I was just asking you about AOC because she was out there with you.
No, fine, but I don't want to talk about this.
Okay, so that was a very recent interview of Bernie Sanders getting up and walking away from the interview and saying, I'm not doing this nonsense right now. But again, if I was Bernie Sanders, I understand I would not answer any questions, especially if it causes more of a divide within the Democrat Party than there already is. Check out this clip.
So let's talk about the word Latinx. Just 2 weeks ago, here's what he said about it.
By the way, not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Yeah,
we agree.
Where did that even
No
come?
more Latinx, everybody.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. I'm like, what are people talking about?
But there was a person who used Latinx. It was actually a really important person. It was him. Right?
Yeah, that's right. And look, these aren't minor shifts. These are progressive issues that Gavin Newsom used to champion until fairly recently. And now he's not just walking away from them. He's sort of acting like they were never legitimate with that clip talking about Latinx in the first place. But let's take Latinx. We did find somebody who used it repeatedly in his office. Let's take a listen to this.
I hope we can really paint a picture in terms of our consciousness of how impactful this has been on the Latinx community. The Latinx and Black communities. You've got politicians that are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx.
All right, this video is sponsored by 1775 Coffee Company. What if your morning coffee didn't just wake you up? What if it actually made you younger? Sounds like BS, right? Well, it's not. 1775 went ahead and made Rejuvenate. And no, it's not some scam cooked up by corporate hacks trying to sell you snake oil. It's got CAAKG, clinically proven to fight aging at the cellular level, and yeah, it works. Now look, you're still getting the same freedom-fueled 1775 coffee you love, single origin, small batch, and ethically sourced from the kinds of farms that probably hate big government as much as you do. But now it boosts energy, fires up metabolism, and cranks back your biological clock by up to 8 years in just 7 months. Yeah, that's backed by studies. I'm not pulling this out of nowhere. Now, 1775 Rejuvenate officially launches April 15th, so mark your calendar. But you can lock in your pre-order now, and every dollar you spend enters you to win a Cybertruck and $30,000 cash, which is awesome. Head over to 1775coffee.com, use promo code T-SPLY, capital T-SPLY, for 15% off, and drink your age away with coffee that delivers real results. No corporate coffee here. Alright, so where is Gavin Newsom again? He's at 2% on this list. He might be knocking all the way down to a 0.2%, considering now you even have CNN and Democrat hit pieces on Gavin Newsom, because Gavin is trying to start a conversation. A lot of people are predicting he might run for the presidency. So again, I'm just trying to point out, within the Democrat Party, you have Democrats willing to turn on other Democrats and call them out for either shifting policies, trying to gain favor with Democrat voters. This is happening across the board right now. And I never thought I'd see the day people would be turning on Gavin Newsom, to be honest with you.
I'm mad at the Democratic Party. I mean, you see, when you lose an election, a party exists for one reason and one reason only, and that is to win the election. We lost. But there's nothing permanent about this. I remind people Wisconsin Supreme Court is coming up. You know, we got a huge Virginia governor's race. They have legislative challenges, and I do think that Senator Schumer is right. I think he and Rita Jeffers do have a plan in place. And look, if this is not evident here in the next 3 or 4 months, then there will be a uprising within the Democratic Party. But I think we should give them a chance to let's see what their plan and their strategy is.
Look, I'm not stepping down. And let me just say this, Kristen. I knew when I cast my vote against against the government shutdown that there'd be a lot of controversy, and there was. But let me tell you and your audience why I did it, why I felt it was so important. The CR was certainly bad, you know, the continuing resolution, but a shutdown would be 15 or 20 times worse. Under a shutdown, the executive branch has sole power to determine what is, quote, essential.
So as you can see, Chuck Schumer says he's not stepping down, but the reason why I'm playing these clips for you is to show you nobody seems to be on board with what to do. As we know, in the last polls and statistics, the majority of Democrats wanted the government to shut down, but Chuck Schumer, again, goes against the grain. If you're a Republican, you're probably happy he did not shut the government down, and if you are a government worker who the Democrats said they want to help out, you're also probably happy that the government did not shut down. But again, Chuck Schumer being a leader, going against the Democrat Party, now you have other Democrats, you know, trying to spew their own talking points saying we should have shut down the government. As you can see, there's a lot of chaos right now within the Democrat Party. I'm not even trying to form some sort of biased video. This is the narrative. These are the clips.
People were very, very disappointed in the Senate for not voting no on the continuing resolution without any concession, without getting a concession to keep Social Security offices open, without getting a concession to stop firing veterans, without getting a concession to continue Department of Education funding. Are there going to be challenges across the country? Absolutely. Is it going to be a Tea Party? No, because the Tea Party wanted to basically destroy the government, tear down the government. Many Democrats, there's anger, but there's also aspiration. We want to build things like Medicare for all, like a living wage, and a lot of other policies. So you're going to see see a new generation come in with a compelling economic message.
You're probably sitting there like, wow, where was that at the beginning of Kamala Harris's campaign? Where were the Democrats that actually sounded a little more moderate and did not go very extreme with their values and with their stances? In fact, you even have AOC really honing in on making sure to talk about specific policies and not just say, we hate Donald Trump, we can't stand Donald Trump. That is not a policy.
You know, Fox News and the right wing will have you believe that these American values are something out of the Communist Manifesto. That we believe these things because we went to college and read them in a book somewhere. But let me tell you, Fox News, I don't believe these things. I don't believe in healthcare, labor, and human dignity because I'm a Marxist. I believe it because I was a waitress. Because I scrubbed toilets with my mom to go to school. Because I've worked double shifts to keep the lights on. And because on my worst day, I know what it feels like to feel left behind. And I know that we don't have to live like this anymore, Las Vegas. We deserve better than this, Las Vegas.
Now look, do not take this as me promoting AOC or me trying to be like, look, you see, that's a good Democrat. What I'm trying to do is show you guys that AOC is on the right track of doing the right thing as a Democrat, which is not only talk bad about Trump, actually come up with a policy. Because look, there are plenty of town halls where Democrats are getting ambushed and being told, why don't you actually have any policies? What is going on? Where is the actual Democrat pushback to either work with Republicans or come up with policies that Republicans can get on board with, let alone other Democrats?
Message that was sent by Democrats in Congress with the CR catastrophe was clear. It's not that you're in the minority. It's that you aren't even working together on a shared strategy. And that is failure. We are not interested in hearing that you are in the minority. We know that. We want you to show some of the backbone and strategic brilliance that Mitch McConnell would have in the minority.
Thank you for being polite with us, but when it comes to fighting these fights, we need you to be a little bit less polite, a little bit more hell no instead of a little bit no.
Fair enough.
And there may be a time when you and other congresspeople need to do civil disobedience. You need to be arrested.
Sure.
And I will go with you. I will stand next to you and be arrested.
Okay, so I'm sure you've seen this clip so much, but I really want you guys to know the reason why it's so important, this specific clip, is because there was always the narrative that Republicans are the problem, Republicans are causing all of the chaos, and then the polls came out that Democrats have a bad approval rating. Then all of a sudden, Democrats actually went to go face their voters face to face, and nobody could believe, unless you actually believe the data and statistics, which I did, a Democrat could actually face some backlash. Again, this is why we are now seeing Democrats actually try to push talking points and not the talking point that, oh, we cannot stand Donald Trump. We don't like Donald Trump. That is what Chuck Schumer has been trying to say all along. However, it looks like a lot of people actually want him gone, and this is why we are seeing a new push for a potential new leadership either within the Senate or within Congress.
Yeah, I mean, he was angry. Yes. Put it lightly. But I think that he actually hit on a couple different points. First, there is no strategy, right? Or whatever the strategy it is, they're not able to message it enough to their voters, to the Democratic base. But I think the reality is that Democrats are kind of, stuck in between a rock and a hard place because they really are waiting to see what happens with Donald Trump. They're waiting for more pain so that they can message against that more clearly. But in that time of waiting, I think what is at risk to them is that they are unable to message that effectively to their base. So there is a period of waiting to see, okay, this is how we are going to shape up our messaging for the midterm. But in the absence of that, there is really no contact between them and the Democratic base. And that is kind of where things are getting kind of mismatched and off to the left.
Louder for the people in the back. And I'll actually give a little credit to Bernie Sanders. He was one of the first people to come out and say, yeah, the Democrat Party, we don't have the right direction. We don't know what's going on. Now, I did point out Bernie Sanders is not technically a Democrat, but let's be honest, he is looped in within the Democrat Party as an independent. Everybody sees him, within the Democrat Party, and Bernie Sanders stands up for Democrats. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Who do you think might potentially be the next leader? Do you think we are seeing a little too much hype behind AOC? Again, she is rather progressive as far as trying to win New York State as a senator. I don't think that's going to happen personally, especially if you know the demographics of upstate New York. I mean, that is majority all Republican, and she would have to win some votes up there. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for all the support. We'll see you all later. God bless. Thank you.